Okay, hello everybody and welcome to this very quick tutorial or like run through that I want to do together with you on this Tesla thing that recently came out. Like they announced they will be creating a bottle of tequila in the shape of like this lightning bolt thing with the Tesla logo here at the bottom and stuff like that. So it's typical Tesla, but immediately when I saw this I was like, yeah, this looks like it's too perfect. It's a render, or it at least could be a render. So that's what I want to try and do today. Give it a quick shot at trying to model this within Blender. So let's do that. Let's open up Blender here. And yeah, just create a new file. Get rid of the camera. Yeah, just clear the rotations here. And we'll move it over here. You know what, actually it made more sense if it was on the y-axis. So we'll move it over here and rotate this thing around the x-axis for 90 degrees such that it's looking up. That's perfect. And then, alright, let's start by creating this huge plane. So the first thing we see when looking at this is there's a white background, and there's like it's this continuous thing that connects the floor and the wall behind it. So let's try to do something like that. It's gonna be fairly simple, the setup here. So we create a plane and then go into edit mode and loop cut this a couple of times on this side. Wait, actually, you know what? I'm only gonna loop cut it once, and let's look at it. Let's look at the top. Grab this, look at the side, and bring this up just like that. Super easy, nothing special here. And then now that we have it over there, move it a bit back, tap back into edit mode, select this edge, and then create a bevel to it. Something like that should be fine. Let's give it some more detail, like that. Okay. We go out of edit mode, shade it smoothly, and raise the camera a bit. Let's look through it. And you know, for the sake of creating similar shots, we'll make it square. So we'll go into the render settings of this project and like make this thing square. Like that. Okay, maybe we need the this part to be further back, like that. That should be good. So let's look through this. This is a good setup. Okay. Well, we'll start by creating this shape now. What would this look like? Let's think about this. I think if we start off with a cube that represents the middle and then make a loop cut along this side, we can extrude the remaining faces on both sides. So let's try that. Let's add the cube as said. Let's make it float a bit such that we can nicely see it. And then, yeah, as I said, make a loop cut and like right click for it to be in the middle. Shrink everything down a bit, and then go to face select mode, select this face select mode, select this face, extrude it up, and then shrink it along the x-axis. And if we look at the reference, it goes pretty much straight up, so we'll do that. So we'll go into the front view and move this thing over like that. Then select the bottom face here and extrude it down as well. Again, go to the front view, shrink it along the x-axis, and then move it over there. That looks pretty good. I think the shape is as simple as it gets at this point. That's good, I think. So let's yeah, no, I want to edge select. Let's select these faces and bring them a bit in, because they are not, like, to me the bottle doesn't look as deep as I had it. This looks about right. We'll quickly throw a bevel modifier on this and see what it looks like. That actually looks pretty decent. Let's give it some more shape. Yeah. Okay, so the sides should go straight up. This should make a straight line, and I'm not sure if there's like a perfect way to do it, so I'm just gonna eyeball it at this point. Whoa, other side. So let's do this, grab this thing. You know what, no, we'll grab this thing and move it in till it looks straight. Do the same thing over here, grab X and move it in. There we go. So this actually looks pretty good already. Let's shade it smoothly and check this thing into render view. Yeah, I think I made it slightly too high, so we'll fix that. Make it, oh come on, Z, yes, make it a bit less tall, like that. And I think, like, if we compare this thing, yeah, it should be higher. It should be like thicker, let's say. So let's move this up a bit. You know what? I'm gonna scale them first. This one up, like that, and then yeah, something like that. So let's grab this. Whoa, let's grab this thing and make sure that it's again feels like it's in a straight line, like that. Nope, like that. That looks pretty reasonable if you ask me. I think the bottom should be sharper, so we'll grab that bottom and move it in. Gotta be careful with this though, because then the bevel can not be as nice. Okay, and then there's this next problem. So like there's a like the top side is a different piece, of course, because you need to be able to open the bottle. So let's move this down like that, and then grab this thing and try again to put it in a straight line like that. Does this look reasonable? I think so, yeah. Let's actually make this a bit smaller such that the images fit. Yeah, so this looks quite reasonable. Let's start by making this more interesting and do some early shading here. Let's go over to the shading tab, and well, we're gonna use cycles here because it's a glass thing that will need a lot of like good looking light transportation. So let's create a shader here and put the transmission up. Yeah, and then of course the glass itself has a color, so we'll try to recreate that color here. It's very saturated, yellowish, something like that. Looks pretty close if you ask me. Let's quickly go into the camera view, and we're gonna make this a long shot, so let's increase the focal length. Let's say like we'll put it at 120 or something, and then we're just gonna move the camera back by a whole lot. We can actually do this from in here, but I mean it's fine, it looks pretty close. This should be closer to the ground at the very least. Let's increase the speculars a bit. It's not really happening. So, but we haven't done any lighting. Let's first give this thing a material. Whoa, that changed in a weird way. I don't know what happened here. I think it was a glitch. Okay, let's move on. So if we try to assess what this material is, I think it's like paper. I'm not too sure how to make paper, but we'll just decrease the specularity and maybe give it a bit of a clear coat to like give it a shine in some of the areas where you might expect one. Okay, and then so the light is definitely coming from a lot of places here, but also from the front. You can see over here in the back there's a cast of the light. So we'll try to grab this lamp and actually move it to where you'd expect this thing to hit the back of the. Whoa. We'll move the wall a bit closer to the actual bottle, like that. See, because actually, if you look at the thing where it's sitting on, it's pretty close to the back. So I think it should be even closer. So let's do that, something like that. Yeah, and maybe it's too close right now. Anyways. Yeah, so now we're getting that cast on this thing, but of course there's not enough light with this lamp only. Let's create a big ass plane to do this. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what the exact shape of this thing is, but we'll just create an emissive material for this. So let's delete this and create a shader emission and hook that up. Let's look. Yeah, of course I put it in front of the camera. Let's move it up. You know what? Maybe we'll move it to the left and give it some light. There we go. Now this thing, it needs more highlights at least. I don't know. Look at that. I forgot to bring down the roughness. So see, so now we're getting that glassy look over here. That is nice. And we start seeing those shadows in the back. So let's move this light around and play a bit with it to see where those shadows go. So if we lower, let's first make it a bit smaller because it's hard to see what's actually going on. But they're really low. Trying to let's move it more to the side. Yeah, and we're gonna add a little bit of roughness in here to, well, like roughness in terms of the material surface. So what we're gonna do is grab a Musgrave texture and then hook that up to a bump map. So that's in vector, I believe. Why is it going so slow? Get it into height and throw it into the, yeah, so there we go. Of course it's just way too strong at this point, but that's fine. We'll bring the strength of it down. See, so now we're getting a bit of those shape imperfections. This is really cool. Maybe it might even be too strong still. Yeah, so this looks pretty glass-like, if you ask me. Let's see what we can do with the bevel. Maybe I want to increase the size of the bevel a bit more. Or like add an extra vertex here. I mean, it looks amazing. You immediately get very far here. I think if we assess the color, it should be a little bit more red, but maybe that's because of the fluid. No, like tequila is mostly transparent. So we'll make this a little bit more towards the red, only a little bit. There we go. I think that's closer. Yeah, that definitely is closer. Let's look through the camera. What do we see and what is missing? Okay, not too much is missing at this point, I think, in terms of the shape. I think the camera should be higher though. Whoa, I didn't grab the camera. And actually I think it's more of like a lens that sits around 85 millimeters. And we'll bring it closer again. Like that. Okay. Okay. I like this. Let's for a second go back to the solid mode and do some rendering. Let's see. Oh, I'm on CPU. Okay, that should be better. Let's quickly save this and call it, I don't know, Tesla. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Let's do a quick render just because we can. Okay. Back to... Ooh, it's unresponsive while it's rendering. Okay, back to the solid mode. We'll try to make the thing that it's standing on. I don't know the word. I'm sorry. Let's add... Oh, let's... I'm in object mode. Shift A. Let's add... What will we add? Let me think about this. Let's analyze the shape here. So we have two parts here. If I start with a plane and make a loop cut in the middle to bring that part up, I can extrude everything. Yeah, I'll try that approach. So we'll make a plane. I'll quickly hide the background for a while. And then tap into edit mode. Yeah. So okay, edit mode, and then I'll loop cut along this side. Just quickly check, is it somewhat even? I think it's slightly more to the right, so I'm gonna do that subtly, and then move this thing up. So that's the base. Then we select everything and extrude it up like this. I think this makes sense. But of course, the sides are lower, and actually it's the sides are horizontal, so let's try to do that. Let's go to the side view here and grab that and place it over there. That makes sense. Okay, do this for the other one. Oh, nope. And like that. So that is a good starting point, I think. Let's see if we throw the bevel modifier on there, if it works, or if we will need to help it a little. Let's say 2 vertices. Yeah. Okay, that looks quite reasonable actually. Let's move this thing up a bit. Because it's sitting on the ground, so that should be perfect. Next, we will create. So look at what this thing is doing. So the sides need to go up. So we'll create loop cuts on both of the planes here. Move it over here. I'd say. Here because we're having those nice edges to it, and it is, yeah, it is somewhat grayish, right? But I think we already have grayish. Where's the lighting? I hid the background. So alright, so now it's hard to distinguish, so let's bring that down a bit. That's right. That's right. Let's see at a reference shot. So it's definitely very rough, and we're seeing some. All right, I think you can notice this like black thing here in the reflection, as if there is no light there. So what I'm gonna do is shape this a bit smaller and bring it up higher, such that hopefully we are getting this black line, but we're not. We're not. See, so I think we're seeing a problem here now with the bevel not having enough due to this bevel. Yeah, I think the bevel completely got away while I added this bevel. That's not really what I hoped to achieve here. And unfortunately, I do not know how to undo the bevels you added in edit mode. Because right now, I really think that this bevel thing doesn't do anything at all. Yeah, there's... how do I fix this? I probably don't. I feel stupid for going back with Control Z all the time, but I fear it's the only thing I can do to make this work. Are my Control Z's exhausted? They might be, actually. They might be exhausted. Ah, damn it. That is a bummer. Okay, let's redo some of this stuff. Okay, I guess that we will have to add the bevels ourselves, which I think is an even worse idea. Would there be a nice way to do this? I mean, it's a polygon, so we could actually just remove the vertices in between. Yeah, we can do that. So let's hide this thing for a second. And so we'll go into the side view to easily grab them perfectly. And let's grab all of the vertices of this edge and then just say delete the vertices, right? So we have this hole. That's good. That's what I wanted so far. And then let's do the same thing for the other two bevels that we created. Like this. And now we're gonna reinsert the faces. So let's select them. Like so. See, we've got all of them, and we hit F. There is our new face. That's what I wanted. This is the same on the other side. Yeah. F. Like that. And then, oh, look at that. It understood what I wanted to do with the alt click here. Selected the correct loop. Let's select those. F. Let's alt click it. F. There we go. I'm undoing the bevel. It's my lucky day. And select those. Select those. Select those. Add the bevel again. And let's see what we can do here. I want to eyeball the result. Okay, so wait, maybe I might need to delete those as well. Okay, so let's go into the side view again. Grab this thing. Grab this thing. And move it far enough away such that the bevel has plenty of space to bevel. Like that. And as this is an inside vertex, we can move it a bit out. Let's scale this down to 0 to make it flat. Let's scale this down to 0 to make it flat. And let's look at what the bevel looks like, because I'm confused as to why it's not growing at this point anymore. I accidentally created a bevel on top here. That is the same problem that we can fix in exactly the same way. So again, we select all of the vertices that were created by the bevel, delete the vertices, and then there we are, right? So we select those, add a face back in, and then loop select this, add the face in there, and then do the same over here. That's it. And yeah, you can clearly see that the bevel is bigger now. That's as hoped for. Let's bring that up. Oops, let's bring that up. something like that, I think will look decent. We're seeing something strange happening here. I don't know what that is. Ah, it's a rendering artifact. Let's bring those a bit down. Look at that. There we are. The bevel is coming back. Actually, we can delete those faces. That is totally possible. Delete those vertices and then loop and insert the bevel right there. And do the same over here. So now the bevel has a lot of free space to move around. Bring our lighting and our background back. And then recreate the material because I deleted that by doing Control C. And yeah, of course, going to rendered view. And give it that roughness we were looking for. Alright, this looks quite decent actually. A lot of the speculars. Maybe a little bit less roughness. Yeah, I like that. That looks close. I think the actual thing is a bit brighter like that. Yeah, that comes pretty close. Although it has a tiny bit of a bronze feel to it. So let's try to do that. So let's select the bronze that I have in mind and then decrease the saturation by a lot. There we go. That looks pretty decent. Let's see. Do like a little bit of samples to have a quick look at the results so far. I mean, this is not bad. This is not bad at all. But I want to recreate this black thing that it's reflecting, and I think that's because of my roughness is definitely too high here, such that it cannot distinguish like the colors that are reflecting off of it. So you see there is already a part of a black look that I was looking for. Can create smooth, shade smooth. That looks pretty cool. I think so. We're seeing the edges of this thing. I think so. We'll make it taller. What am I doing? I'm confused. Ah, there we go. Grab and move him up a whole lot. There we go. And it's not that actually. The black is still there. Yeah, whatever. So we will make this a bit taller and look again at what it looks like. I think actually we might want to put another one at the other side and just look what it does. That thing is ridiculously big right now, but that's fine. Let's create a loop cut and bring this up over here. Add a bit of a bevel to it on this side, like that. And have a look. Is the black still there? Yes. I'm confused where it's coming from. I am confused as to where it's coming from. Is it the world? No, it's not the world. It's something else. So it's probably the bottle itself then? I don't know. This starts looking pretty good actually. I like where this is going. Let's see. I want to move the camera down a bit. And then let's start working on the top part of the bottle. That will need some work. Let's look at the angles. Yeah, the angles are definitely sharper, which might be the explanation for. So let's try to fix that real quick. So move this one up a bit and then go into edit mode, look at the side view. Over here, grab everything that is part of the top and grab grab everything that is part of the top and move that up. It's probably not that much. Something like this. And then do the same thing for this. Something like that. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. What's the weird line in the back? And move this thing back. Let's look at the camera and compare again with our reference. I think that the base is more solid. Definitely more rough. Oh, I'm editing the glass. Yeah, a little bit of roughness does it good. Okay, the base is more solid, as I said, so we'll move that down a bit. I think that's decent. Let's say render region to make it go faster. That looks good. Oh, the bottle is still floating. Let's move that in the side view, because that side view gives us the most precision we can ask for. Damn it, I always forget. That looks good. Give it some space because you can see it's like struggling here, but it's fine, we made it. Okay. I like where this is going. I really do. Okay, let's work on the top part now. First save, there we go, and then work on the top part. Okay, so we're gonna take the same approach. We're gonna start with a cube, but I'm not too sure actually on how to properly align it. Like, how will I go about making sure that it's perfect? Not too sure. Not too sure. I actually could make it part of the same object and just like, okay, so you could you could take those faces and just duplicate the faces, make them float slightly above it, and then extrude those. There we go. And then shrink them in along the x-axis. Go to the front view and put it where it should be. Something like that. No, actually a bit higher. How high is this thing? Pretty high, yeah. Let's add this to the selection and move everything down like that, and then this thing should definitely go a bit more to the left, and all of it should go up because we need a straight line, something like that. Let's see what it looks like at this point from the camera view. That is good, but you can see that there's a liquid in there somewhere, which is something that we do not have at this point, but we'll add it. So okay, you can definitely see the difference in the glass here. The glass seems like it's shaded lighter, and then the bottom part here is filled with the liquid that gives it definitely a bit of a darker look. Because actually, like, the index of refraction of glass is 1.5, whereas the index of refraction of liquid, like water, is 1.33. So yeah, that might be part of the reason why it looks different at this point. Yeah, we'll try to cut out the. Actually, like, now I could do like separate by loose parts, I think. But I don't know. Separate. No, that's not a thing. Loose part. Maybe in edit mode. Loose parts. Separate by loose parts. So now we have a different object. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, so now we can. This is like the top of the bottle, and this is the bottom. So we'll hide this and then start working on this thing. Yeah, and I don't have a numpad, so I don't know how to like properly focus on this thing. Usually you would press, damn, it's hard. Usually you would press on point on the number pad, and then it focuses on the object you have selected. Yeah, I'm almost there. Yeah, okay. So this is, yeah. So we're gonna cut out a hole here, and the question is how we're gonna do that. I think I'm gonna just do a loop cut, 2 loop cuts, and then I cannot, no, that doesn't work. Okay, whatever. And then we shrink him in along the x-axis till it kind of feels like it's a circle, right? And then we select the bottom face and then extrude that one in, scale it down. That looks decent. And then extrude that. Wait, what would it look like if I immediately go up? No, that looks bad. That looks bad. So I'll leave it there and then extrude it. Whoa, extrude it up like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm screwing this up. Maybe I am. Let's look at a rendered result at this point. It does look pretty cool though. It feels like it can be smaller. I all of a sudden have severely the impression that everything is very top, like bottom weighted, and the top is too tall. Yeah, whereas at the actual product it seems more like it's the other way around. So let's unhide these things and let's think about how we're going to fix this. Let's go to the camera view because it was apparent from over there. So it's a bit too top heavy. We'll just fix this by bringing both of these things a bit in. Yeah, like that. Nope, maybe not. I don't think it's in a straight line. Actually, it looks pretty straight from here. Okay, and then move this thing also down. Let's see where it brings us. Yup. It's not easy. It's not easy. Okay, so what does it look like now? I think this might be close. Let's render this. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. But of course, I still feel like this thing is suffering. The bevel cannot do its thing enough because of the cutout that I made here. So instead, we need to edge slide these further out such that the bevel has more room to work with. Like this. Hopefully this improves the result. The roundness of the thing. Okay, this is pretty cool. I actually think that this thing in the middle can be smaller still because the light is breaking it so much that it ends up looking bigger. So let's select it and shrink it down a bit. Like that. And let's look into a render view from the camera. You see, like this. This looks quite okay if you ask me. I think, however, that I will add a bevel on this side, a manual like in mesh bevel, and like this, but only one vertex. This way, maybe two. Wait, no. Oh, yeah, right. Wait, decreasing, does that work here? What's the shortcut for this? Isn't it like Shift E or something? Yeah, that crease, but it's not affecting the bevel modifier. Maybe, is there a setting for this? Profile, limit method, vertex weight, angle. Shading, mark, seam, sharp. Would this be it? Never tried it before. Nope. Does not seem to affect anything at all here. Nope. Geometry, sharp batch arc, I don't know. Shape. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, that, no, that's the profile. Yeah, we want this to be round, so that's in half. Yeah, so look, if we're adding a bevel to this, it like, okay, it works, but we of course lose again some of that roundness that was previously introduced by that bevel. Oh wait, this actually looks decent. So let's do this for this side too then. Well, why don't I see anything? To the other side. Add a bevel here that closely matches like the roundness of the thing. Look at that. And I think that there is too much, like the Musgrave texture is too much along the depth of the thing. So we'll add a scalar to this that that makes the changes less strong along the depth of the bottle. So the position goes in, the position comes out. That shouldn't change anything. Oh, it did. I'm confused. Let's make it a bit bigger, and then oh no, not the X one. It's the one in the Y direction. Yeah, that's the one I was going for. So I wanted to have this a bit lower frequency, right? And then maybe a bit more detail. I have the hardest time understanding what this slider does, but we'll see. I think we should evaluate this in the render view, because okay, let's go to the camera viewpoint and see what we created. This looks pretty reasonable, although there is clearly missing the effect of this thing, the water sitting inside of it. And I'm not sure, I feel like there's the index of refraction hack isn't working. So let me try something. So this is the bottle. So let's duplicate this object and right click to make sure it's in the same position and rename it water straight from the start. And then I want to see what happens if I take the top part and edge slide it down to like lower the water level by a bit. You see? And then of course this is now the water material. Yeah, and we're definitely gonna have issues here with this thing. However, let's see. Maybe I can slightly scale it in and it will work. Not sure. Like, scaling it in is a bit of a hack, but you know, maybe it works just fine. Let's go into face selection mode and select this side face and move it a bit over to the left. Select this face and move it a bit over to the right such that it is contained within the bottle. Okay, I think that's a good start. Now let's create a new material for this thing. Hello. Okay, so I'm back. Behind the scenes while I wasn't recording, I did a couple of things like move the camera a bit around and play a little bit with lighting. One other thing I did is make this edge slightly go up here because it was more shaped like that, as you can see right here. I toyed a bit around with the booleans, but other than that, nothing much happened, so we can continue from here. What I want to do is like close a little bit more of this gap right here. So let's select those faces and move them. Move them up like this. This looks good. And do the same thing over here to like make them fit the corner. See, I added a bevel right here that is pretty straightforward. Actually, let's do the same thing over here. I didn't do that yet. Something like that looks pretty decent to me. Okay. That looks good. So the next thing that we're gonna do is try to slap on the Tesla logo, because you see it's right there, and down here at the bottom at the foot is also the tiny logo, the T-shaped logo. I've never done this before, so let's see where this goes. I think I will be able to pull it off. It doesn't seem that difficult. But hey, let's see. So we're creating a plane. Let's rotate this 90 degrees such that it's facing up. And bring it to the front of this bottle, right? Yeah, I've got a problem while I'm in this view, as I cannot see the face. That is unfortunate. I do see it from here. Okay. So let's move it over there, as closely as possible to the glass, something like that. We'll scale it a bit down. Let's look at how big it is over there. Not too big. I think something like this should fit it. So now it's sitting right there, and let's immediately label this Tesla logo, or like Tesla name, because this is the fully written name. I downloaded the logo, put it in here. So let's create a shader for this and drop the logo in here. Let's see. Let's start by simply hooking this up to it, and let's see what we get. Actually might be suffering. Yeah, look, it's right there. But okay, so we'll need some work on this. I'm wondering if I'm not seeing it in here. Yeah, because of so I'll move it a bit to the front, and then in the very end we'll make sure that it's back. So first of all, let's push this through a color ramp because we want it to be black and white. Actually, hold on. There's already an alpha here, which does pretty much what we're looking for. Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Let's use that. So this goes into the, well, is it transmission? Yeah, no, we're gonna use a mix shader. I don't want extra glass behavior here. So let's say transparent BSDF, that's the one, and a mix shader to mix the two together. So we'll put that right there after that one, and throw that in, and then use the alpha as blending value. Right. Now I'm not sure what happened because, okay, so this thing, yeah, so I should swap the shaders around, that's it. And then Eevee cannot render that, so if we move over to cycles, this is looking good. Now we actually only need the logo at this point, so let's say that we want to move it. So let's head over to the UV editing part, and this is something that I'm not too familiar with, but I've seen some people do it, so I'm gonna try it and hopefully it works. Let's go to render view here to see what we're doing. And I think so if I grab this thing does stuff, right? So I'm gonna scale it down. That should maintain the aspect ratio, and then move this part down. And then while I'm in editing mode, I think I can just, yeah, this is what I was afraid of, that would happen. Yeah, this is not what I wanted, but hey, what can I do? So let's squish it a bit and we'll try to fix it here in the UV editor. So wait, it's the y-axis here, and let's do the same thing over here until it somewhat looks similar what we had. However, if we look at this example, the letters are much farther apart, so I will try to fix this. Let's see. I will do it slide by slide maybe. Wait, so there's 5 letters. That means that I will want 10 loop cuts. Is it indicated anywhere? Ah, at the bottom left. 10 loop cuts, there we go. Now, we want this thing to be a little bit bigger along that axis. And now using this thing, we can start moving those letters around, right? This looks, I'm having a bit of trouble mapping them on my brain, like remapping them. Wait, so I know what I need to do. I need to map something like this, and then make sure that it's every time between the letters. So put them in the middle, scale it down so that it's in between. Scale it down so that it's in. I need to scale this down a bit more, like that. All right, that looks good, I think. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good, but it's white, and the reference was black, so we'll change that. Go back to shading, and instead make it black, like that. That should do it. Wait, I'm doing something wrong. Oh no, I'm using the base color right here. That was a subsurface, so we'll make this black, and that doesn't really matter. In terms of roughness and specular, I'm not too sure. It's a little bit of specular. Yeah. Let's look at it from through the camera. That is not very clear if you ask me. So let's drop the specular a bit. And even a bit more maybe. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. That looks pretty decent. All right, we'll move on to the logo. Wait, I needed to move it back a bit till it's on the bottle again. Well, it's already close to the bottle, but hey, we'll try to be a little bit more accurate here. Something like that. That will be close enough because there's a Musgrave on the glass that might cause it to stick through, and yeah, we obviously don't want that. So that's that. Well, you know, actually we can. No, duplicating was a bad idea. Delete it. We'll create a new panel. Although I think that we could get away with slamming the texture on there. Let's try that actually. So let's add a where is it? Image texture, and select the image we already had and plug it in. Now I wonder what this is gonna look like, because I never done this again. Oof. That is strange to say the least, but I see it's a top-down projection. So if we take everything, rotate it 90 degrees like that, and then move it up something like that, I think if we look at it over here, there it is. It's upside down for some reason, but we can fix that. Let's rotate it 180 degrees again, and let's scale it up. Something like that. Now let's see what the size of this thing actually looks like. So it needs to be a lot bigger. Ooh, it's repeating. Not sure if I can turn that off. And it needs to shrink in height. Something like that. Now let's go back to the shading tab and see if it repeats. Yeah, so we want to clip. There we go. There we go. There we go. That looks good. That looks good. Now what does this thing look like? It's just a bit darker for some reason, so we'll use the color ramp. So we have, let's see, convert color ramp. Let's drop that color in there, and then wait, no, actually the other way around. Let's drop that color in there. Wait a minute. Yes, and then this should be darker, right? And then we plug the alpha in here and use that as a color. Right, so there it is. There's the logo, but we need to get rid of this Tesla text below it, so we'll go back to the UV editor and see if we can do that. I'm not sure. I don't think we can without creating a extra subdivision here. So we'll create a stupid subdivision for the sole purpose of us being able to get rid of that logo. So something like that. I think if we look into the UV editor right now, this is the one, and we actually can just move this completely up till it is gone out of the window. There we go. So that's that. Let's go back to render mode and see what this thing looks like. Let's draw a tiny rectangle around it such that we can evaluate it much quicker. It seems to be a little bit lower, but I want to say I'll leave it, but maybe I won't. So this is up. Yeah, and then this is down. That's right. I'm a little bit confused as to why. Oh, I see. I need to move this this loop cut. I need to move this loop cut around. So I think we can edge slide those over to the bottom here, and then you see like the logo is following. That was the intention. And let's restore some of that balance we had initially, because I think we stretched it too much now. So yeah, and the Tesla logo is of course back because it's sitting right there, and we don't want that. Something like that, I think. But okay, I see. This is good, I think. Let's see if we can push it down a little bit more, and then what am I doing? Yep, want a little bit higher again. That was fine. It looks good. And once again, get rid of the Tesla thing here. I need just another loop cut. I was being confused, I think.